What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft, how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened. It's already starting. Iran has been hacking water plants around the country. They hit 7 states. The biggest and hardest hit was Minnesota. So, what people are saying they notice is the water pressure is low. So the water is not coming out with the same force. Now, what did Iran do? They went in because they know everything is computer, everything's on computer, including your water company. And they went in and changed all the passwords. So when the water company employees came in, they could not do anything. They could not log in. So that's what they did. 7 states got hit. And y'all, if you think they're going to stop at 7 states, you got another thought coming. The fact that somebody could sit all the way over in Iran and do this to water companies in the US, you think they're going to stop with that? No, they're going to go to the electricity companies. They're going to go to gas and oil. Trust me, they're not going to stop with water. Water is just the beginning. And so it went on, from what I understand, for several hours, which is not good. That reflects really bad on the United States. No, one thing about the people over in the Middle East, say they grow up under a different type of mentality. These people believe in fighting down to the last man. That's how they think. And the US went in there just not understanding what their culture is about. And now you done got in so deep. These folks are not afraid of the United States. They keep showing you over and over and over. They're not scared of anyone over here. So, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Brittany James, thank you for the 440 joules. Uncle Alert. Brittany James, again, thank you for the 440 joules. Uncle Alert. Thank you so much for your support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. Okay. So let me. Okay, y'all. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and America claims to be all big and mighty, and you can't even keep outside forces from coming in and hacking your water plants. That says a lot. Says a lot right there. HS 936, thank you for the 800 joules. Turn it up. Thank you so much for your support. And Antithesis, thank you for the 20 super chat. Alcha supporting. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate it. Antithesis, also thank you for the 2-month membership. Keep it going, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Here we go, y'all.
Tonight, the FBI warning cities across the country about cyber attacks to municipal water systems. Writing utility companies in at least 7 states have reported incidents to the FBI, and some of that activity degraded water operations. In Minnesota alone, more than 30 municipal water systems have been targeted, and a senior law enforcement official has told NBC News that attack bears all the hallmarks of Iranian-backed hackers. Though today, President Trump denied Iran was behind it.
I don't think so. I blame it on Minnesota because they're grossly incompetent.
Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz firing back. Trump knows exactly who's responsible for this attack and knows that other states were hit too, adding it further illustrates there's no plan to win a war with Iran.
Iran's got bigger problems than worrying about Minnesota.
Back in April, after the start of the Iran war, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, warned of Iran-affiliated hackers trying to exploit a specific piece of equipment.
This is a wake-up call, not a catastrophe.
Cynthia Kaiser is a former deputy director of the FBI's cyber division. Is the water supply safe?
Yes, there does not appear to have been any effect on water quality as a part of these attacks, but the reality is that we have to be looking to the future about when these types of attacks could become a lot more consequential.
Cybersecurity experts we spoke with say municipal water systems can be easy targets if they're connected to the internet.
Okay, so allegedly Iran's cyber team is out here doing more than making Lego videos, and we might have a serious issue because they just turned the water off on America. Yeah, so here's what happened. Allegedly, Iran's cyber team had hacked into the American water system, changed the password on our people so we couldn't even log in and do nothing for real. In one city, mind you, this happened out here in Minnesota. In one city, they told them, y'all need to go on and boil some water because we don't know what's going on around this mug, right? In a whole nother city, I think it's like Braham, Minnesota, cut the water systems off. Then people could not log in and do nothing. So now administration is sending out notices to all the water system people.
Yes, and this sister is bringing up an excellent point. I know it did not happen in every one state. It did not happen in mine. But y'all, if you can stock up on water and keep extra water around your house, please do it, or your apartment, whatever you live in. Keep some extra water around at all times, because Iran is definitely not going to just stop at 7 states. They're going to keep going until they can get the whole nation. All right? The whole nation. And they damn near paralyzed Minnesota when they got 30 different water sites. They were practically paralyzed and was hardly getting any water out of their faucets. So if nothing else, try to be as prepared as you possibly can. I know it's not easy for everybody, but if you can do it, keep some extra water around.
People like, hey, y'all need to double check y'all passwords. Y'all got, two-player authentication, however that go. Like, everybody good because they doing some different stuff around here. Mind you, we got the Paw Patrol, all FBI on the case right now. How did they observe?
The FBI is now saying similar things have happened in 7 states as well, 7 other states, I should say, as well. It seems like they are linked to, and that they have, quote, I should say, hallmarks of Iranian hackers, as you mentioned. What are these, quote unquote, hallmarks, and how do they go about determining this?
There are ways to attribute cyber attacks. It's very technical and beyond me, and they also keep it kind of secret. But what is true is in that warning that was issued a week ago, and in previous warnings, the government agencies were saying Iran may try to target these automated systems. They have a technical name, PLCs, programmable logical controllers, which they did not teach me about when I was in school.
Yeah, me either.
But they are pretty sensitive devices and systems where you control a manufacturing process, an industrial process automatically, an automated system. You don't have to pull a bunch of levers and hit a bunch of buttons. But if they're connected to the internet, which they can be, they become vulnerable to hacking. And keep in mind that, these water utility companies, utility organizations. These are not J.P. Morgan, Microsoft, big corporations with very deep pockets that can spend a lot of money on cybersecurity. So if you went to a cybersecurity conference over the past 5 years, you would hear an expert or a former government official saying, we worry about infrastructure, but mainly these kinds of smaller towns or a city where the water system doesn't have the highest end cybersecurity. So the hallmark of Iran is them attacking some of these automated systems. They've done it in the past, the U.S. believes, and so there's a warning, and lo and behold, it happened a week later. We're still waiting to hear the definitive attribution, but Iran is definitely the prime suspect, and of course, as we all know, the U.S. is at war with Iran at the moment.
A major cyber attack targeted water systems in at least 7 states, and in Minnesota alone, federal authorities say more than 30 water facilities were breached. U.S. officials see Iran as the likely culprit, but are still working to determine that. Madeline Rivera has the latest from our New York City newsroom on this story. Madeline.
Good morning, Brian. The FBI says these malicious cyber hackers were able to change the passwords and IP addresses of the systems that operate and monitor these water facilities. The agency says they've received reports of loss of pressure and flooding, which can allow untreated groundwater to seep into the pipes. The FBI did not mention which 7 states were affected. It comes, though, on the same week that Minnesota officials warned of a coordinated cyber attack on the water systems of 30 Minnesota communities. Water safety was not impacted, but the incident does highlight the vulnerabilities of critical infrastructure. The reports, including from the New York Times, that per U.S. and state officials, this may have been the work of Iran. The FBI is dismissing that for now, telling Fox they're not currently blaming Iran as they work to identify a culprit. President Trump, in the meantime, is pointing his finger at state officials.
Well, I think I blame it on Minnesota because they're grossly incompetent. They like to say, oh, it was Iran. Iran should be so lucky. Iran's got bigger problems than worrying about Minnesota.
Governor Tim Walz responded to the president's comments on X, saying Trump knows exactly who is responsible for this attack and knows that other states were hit too. This is what modern warfare looks like, and it further illustrates there's no plan to win a war with Iran. Just last week, the FBI and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agencies said Iran's cyber actors were continuing to target U.S. infrastructure. Water and wastewater systems were of particular concern. And for years, Iran has targeted U.S. water systems, and this suspected attack fit that pattern. Minnesota officials say the incident highlights the need for more investment in cybersecurity to prevent future threats. Brian?
No doubt about it, Madeline Rivera.
A coordinated cyber attack has struck critical infrastructure in the United States, targeting water and wastewater facilities across at least 7 states. Since late July, hackers have infiltrated the digital networks of dozens of community water utilities, with Minnesota and Michigan reporting the highest number of breaches. The attackers specifically targeted internet-connected operational controllers, altering passwords and locking operators out. This forced many facilities to abruptly shut down their automated controls and revert entirely to manual operations. While the FBI has reported of localized flooding and drops in water pressure, state and federal authorities emphasize that the actual quality of the drinking water remains safe and uncompromised for the public. So who is responsible? Investigators are currently treating Iranian-linked hackers as the primary suspects. This ongoing investigation aligns with recent warnings from U.S. intelligence agencies regarding Iranian cyber operations deliberately targeting vulnerable local utilities. As federal agencies scramble to help operators secure their networks, this breach serves as a stark wake-up call about the fragile cybersecurity of America's local infrastructure.
Okay, moment of truth. There are 30 water treatment systems that have been hacked by who they say is Iran, allegedly. 30 water systems, and one is Michigan. They've hacked, I guess, the Great Lakes water systems. So people, you better get your water. This is the moment of truth. Has our water system been hacked and compromised? And where is that coming from? Is it the two-letter people that starts with an A? Or is it Iran, as they have been reporting, allegedly, educational and entertainment purposes? Let a sister know. This is the moment of truth. Do you think that our water system have been hacked? And if so, it's time to run for the border and get you some water. Bye now. And it's 7 states: Michigan, Georgia, Minnesota, and then they're not saying any other, I think Iowa. But I'm concerned about Michigan because that's where I live. Lord, don't let them poison our water, please. Bye now.
Plymouth and South St. Paul were just 2 of the more than 30 water systems hit in the attack. It happened over a 2-day span from Sunday and into Monday. And now, according to one report from the New York Times, U.S. officials now believe that Iran is likely responsible. Here is a look at all the cities that have publicly identified themselves as targets of the attack. In addition to Plymouth and South St. Paul, the attack impacted water systems in Maple Plain and in Bram. Minnesota IT Services put out a statement just hours ago saying, quote, "We are not attributing this activity to a specific threat actor at this time. Federal partners are best positioned to assess this incident." A cybersecurity expert says if Iran is to blame, it likely knew quite a bit about Minnesota water systems beforehand.
They must have quite a bit of information about the all those systems, and they knew how they were related to each other. And we had the attacks, but now they know that they happen, and they're applying, mitigation strategies. So I'd like to think that we're going to learn from this, and we'll be better prepared.
And we've reached out to the FBI, but it did not comment beyond saying that it is aware of that report that Iran is the likely culprit. Also, an important reminder here, the water is still safe to drink. And experts say that this is really about sending a message to the United States, not contaminating the water supply.
This morning, the FBI and EPA out with a warning to water and wastewater facilities, alerting them to a surge in cyber attacks. Companies in at least 7 states now reporting incidents to federal authorities. Some of the operations affected, according to the FBI, include flooding and loss of pressure, which could potentially allow untreated groundwater to seep into pipes. The warning comes amid a wide-scale cyber attack targeting more than 30 water treatment systems in Minnesota. Authorities have not yet identified who is responsible for the Minnesota attack, but sources tell us a number of officials suspect Iran-linked hackers may be involved. In one case, the hackers were able to actually shut down the flow of water from the well and water treatment plant in the tiny city of Bram, forcing officials to provide clean water to residents already stored in its water tower. In a statement, the city says it was informed that there were at least 4 other communities attacked with the same result. The city of Maple Plain declaring a local emergency that was in effect for 2 days, and the city of Plymouth also affected.
One reason officials are suspicious of Iranian involvement, so far the hackers are not asking for ransom money. Instead, they appear to be trying to deny service. Rebecca?
Okay, y'all. Personally, I put all of the fault on the U.S. I put all of the fault on the U.S. because, number one, this war should never have started. Donald Trump got involved with the war because Netanyahu convinced him to do so. Number two, why is your security on the internet so weak that you can be hacked, whether it's somebody in Iran or somebody right here in the United States? You were that easy to get hacked in 7 states. I know one of the states was also South Dakota. It was that easy for somebody to hack you. And my question is, because they're claiming Iran has been doing things even back in 2025. Okay, let's say that is the case. What did you do to beef up security online? In my opinion, the answer is nothing. If they were able to get 7 states, obviously you didn't do nothing. America is the one dropping the ball on this whole thing. If they had measures in place where it would be super hard for people to hack your system, this shouldn't be happening. I put the blame on America. I do, you know, and see, y'all don't ever want to put the best people in charge. You want to put the white people in charge. And that is a problem in itself. Y'all never want to do what's right. You always want, just like Donald Trump, he's changing the civil division of the DOJ for any racism that happens in the country. They'll just deal with it if it's happening to a white person. But if it happens to anyone else, no, don't do anything. Do you know he's doing that? The only civil rights that matter are that of white males. See, this is why you got the problems that you have today. You're not looking for no merit or the best people. Donald Trump himself is admitting that. So anyway, y'all, America, you're already weak in a physical fight with Iran. And now you're showing you're weak when it comes down to technology. America is weak and vulnerable. And it can't fend off hackers. It should never be easy for anybody to hack any type of system, especially one that is government ran. The water companies are government ran. It should be nothing that should penetrate your systems. So y'all so busy stuffing your pockets and being greedy that you're not taking care of the infrastructure like you're supposed to. So that's where I stand on the whole thing. And you know what? And if it is happening, America, you know what? You should not have started a war with an adversary that obviously can kick your ass. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I thank you all for being here. And, okay. Antithesis, thank you for the 2-month membership. And stay positive for me, too. Thank you for the super chat, Lisa. Your commentary is always in. I see the thumbs up, shared and appreciated. Shalom. Shalom to you, and thank you for your support. So y'all, I don't know what to say other than since this war started, we're seeing just how weak this country is. America talks a good game, but you're not as strong and mighty as you try to put out there. You're really not. You're more like a paper tiger. Lion Pride, thank you for the super chat. I would look at modern day Israel doing this dirt and point their finger to someone else. At Lisa M. Cabrera, shalom. Shalom to you too. I mean, look, it's a lot of possibilities. You know, it really truly is. And, you know, Iran is who's fighting with the country, but there's no guarantee. It can be domestic terrorists. And you don't know where these people are. I really don't think they can look at this thing and tell exactly where it came from. Usually these hackers know how to cover their tracks pretty good. They do. You know, years ago, y'all, I was reading about they did a bank heist online. And I don't know if any of you heard of them doing that. So these hackers, what they did was they set up a server in an empty house. And they proceeded to rob millions of dollars from several different banks. And I would say this probably happened like around 2015. So once they got finished stealing from all these banks, they took the server out of the empty house and left. And you know what? They never got caught. They never got caught. And another thing that they do is they go to like an internet cafe and they will do things at an internet cafe. So by the time the police go over there, the perpetrator done left. So they don't catch them either. They do this everywhere. Wherever they have a facility where there's a bunch of computers, somebody will always go in there and commit some type of cyber crime. And they don't get caught because by the time the cops show up at certain people have gone to libraries and done these things. By the time it gets caught, the person is long gone. And they're not logging in when they go to these internet cafes. They're not logging in using their names. They're never going to use their names. So it is a big mess. It is really, truly a big, big mess. They can't catch these people. Y'all, these hackers have outwitted them for so many decades, actually. But I will never forget that one where they found an empty house, set up a server, and robbed banks and just picked the server up out of the empty house and left and never got caught. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. And I got my next live coming up at 1:45, and this one's going to be on Courtney Clenny. She is taking a plea deal, but I thought this was self-defense, right? Well, she's taking a plea deal now. So the fact that she's taking a plea deal, more than likely there's not going to be a trial. That will eliminate the trial. So we'll get into that at 1:45. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you then. Shalom, family.